new aircrafts, liveries, and more, all introduced to PTFS. So, let's hop right in. Alright, welcome back everyone, and today we're reviewing the latest PTFS update. And although we are a few days late for this, I thought there were some pretty unique features included with this update, so it was worth checking out regardless of being 4 days late. So one of the highlights for this update are these two cargo payload, I suppose, additions to both the 747 and the AN225. And as you can see, these massive space shuttles attached to the top. We've got the American one over here and the Russian shuttle over here. We'll start off with the AN225, new livery to match the cargo payload here. Now, unfortunately, there isn't much you can do with this. There isn't any interactability, I suppose, with the shuttle itself, but it's going to make for some really interesting and unique role plays. You can see it's nicely modeled as well. It's slightly different to the American shuttle, which we'll take a look at in a second. But again, the detail on it is really nice, and it's going to make for some great role plays. So anyways, that's the AN225 with the Embraer shuttle on top. We'll make our way over here past the new NASA liveries, which we'll take a look at in a second. And this, the 747 with the Discovery shuttle. And this is probably a bit more iconic, at least from what I've seen anyways. Again, the shuttle doesn't have anything you can interact with, but this one is slightly different. They've got this cone covering the engines, I'm guessing for better aerodynamics when flying. I suppose you could roleplay that these were lifted onto the aircrafts somehow. I'm sure there's some equipment around the map that you could use to simulate that in a roleplay. But again, the model on this one is really nice and detailed. You can see here the lettering and the windows covered up. Looks great. Yeah, you can see some seats out the front here. We've got a spiral staircase, but the rest of the aircraft has been hollowed out. I suppose those are pretty heavy, so you need to shed as much weight as possible. Now, staying on the theme of space, I suppose, here are the new liveries on the FA-18s. These are the NASA liveries here that I suppose were used around a similar time. This is just a livery update to a plane we have had in game, but these are supposedly used for transferring videos, footage, support aircrafts, that sort of thing. But again, really nice, and I'm sure you can do some great transportation role plays with those. Now, we'll move over to the other side here, where we have four of the new Embraers parked up here. We've got a Delta, we have, this is the private jet version, British Airways and American Airlines over there. So this is a new aircraft completely, and these are free, except for the private jet, which we'll review in a moment. Anyways, making our way inside the cockpit here, we're going to sit down in the co-pilot seat there. Look at the detail on this. Again, matching the quality of the recent aircrafts added. Really, really nice. And we've got an interesting layout because it's a very thin aircraft, I suppose. So interesting layout with 2 seats on one side, 1 on the other. Again, nothing too crazy going on with this aircraft, but I'm sure some aviation enthusiasts will love to see this in game. Now, we do have a couple of different interior versions. This is a Game Pass, part of the Private Jets Game Pass, I believe. And we can click on the door here, which will actually lead to an animation. So you can see the door slides open, and then we've got the steps that roll down there. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. So we'll wait for the steps to come down, and then we can go on board our private jet here. The cockpit is going to be the same, as you can see. I'd assume this is a bathroom of sorts. Unfortunately, you can't get in. We've got a catering section here. We've got a sink, what looks to be a cake stand, and we've got some bottles of Bloxy Cola, as you love to see. A lot more comfortable seating than we saw on the Delta there. But again, we've got some more storage back here. I'm guessing this is toilets or some sort of rooms back here. Let me know if you do know what that is, and then You can see some more drinks and food laid out on the counter there. Nice livery on this one, quite simple, but I think it works pretty effectively with the plane. So again, this is a Game Pass, part of the Private Jets Game Pass pack, but the rest of the Embraers you can spawn in for completely free. Now that's all of the new / updates to aircrafts in PTFS. A couple of smaller changes, I suppose. If we click here on the left, we can actually bring up the airport charts. And so these were able to be found on the PTFS Discord server and in roleplay servers, but now you can actually find them in game. We've got a list of every single airport. We can go and bring up Greater Rockford since we're right there, I suppose. If this frame took up a bit more space, I think that would make more sense, but we can rotate it to the right viewing angle, I suppose. And yeah, take a look at these. I really like the fact that they did these because it is always a pain switching back between Discord and stuff. You can pull this up whilst you're in game, especially if you're piloting in a roleplay server like ATC24, something like that. It is great to see the developers did add this and a load of detail there, so really cool to see. So it is great to be back in PTFS, given my last upload on this game was months ago. Definitely looking forward to seeing what the developers add next, and hopefully we're going to be getting some roleplays out with the new aircrafts they've added, since we haven't done a roleplay in this game in years, I'd say. Subscribe if you did enjoy this content, let me know in the comments below what you plan to do with the new aircrafts, and I'll see you all in the next one.